on fire. Is she feeling herself? Is she feeling on me? I do it for the love first, peep the intentions, man. I spit game, but you never learn no lessons, man.
Goddamn, we back at it. Kanye West and Ty Dolla Vultures finally came out in Kanye perfect fashion with the album rollout. You know, this album's been teased and unofficially announced for better part going on 3-4 months at least. In Kanye fashion, the album came out Saturday morning at approximately 4 a.m. exclusively on Apple Music. Then eventually it came on Tidal. Then it was not on Apple Music anymore, only on Tidal. And then it was taken off completely. Then finally it came out on all streaming platforms. It finally came out on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, etc., all the platforms finally came out and finalized. Perfect Kanye fashion. The album came out at 4 a.m. initially. Perfect Kanye fashion. You remember Donda, when Donda came out in 2021, that album came out on a Sunday morning at like 8 a.m. I was like on my way to work at the time, and the album came out. I'm like, well, I'm not going to be reacting to anything until I get off work. What's happening? I reacted to what I reacted to. I reacted to Moon, Hurricane, and I think one other track. I think the track with Jay-Z I reacted to at the time. But yeah. Vultures won. The album finally came out. Got a few singles over the course of the last few months. We got the title track Vultures, which we got several different versions over the course of time of that track. We got that back in November, I think, initially of last year. And then we got Talking with it with Northwest, his daughter Northwest. We got that Talking a couple of days ago before the album officially came out, about a week ago, so almost. We got that the music video for that as well, with featuring Northwest. So we got all the artists with their kids lately. We got Drake with Adonis. We had Kanye West with Northwest. Beyonce's touring with her child, between her and Jay-Z. So yeah, the artists with their child, they've been releasing a lot of music lately. There's collab songs with their children. I guess it's bound to happen, but even when they're not fully adults, and even though they're still children and teenagers, they collab songs with them. But yeah, Vultures. I don't know what to fully expect from this album. It was Kanye West and Ty Dolla made a plethora of plenty of hit songs between one another on each other's projects, especially obviously Ty Dolla I like to say is a cheat code feature. That man is an absolute cheat code feature. If you put it's featuring Ty Dolla I mean, he created it's to the point in which a couple years ago he came out an album titled featuring Ty Dolla. That's what you just know, that whenever you get a feature for Ty Dolla he's gonna give you some angelic vocals. He's gonna absolutely deliver. It's gonna be absolutely solid. So having a Ty Dolla and Kanye West album, a collab album, is very interesting. The total length of the album is 16 songs. We're only going to be listening to 15 because, like I said, Vultures came out months ago. And then Talking, I haven't listened to Talking yet, so we'll just listen to that. So we're going to do 15 out of 16 songs. It's just under an hour long, so that's very good. Donda was hours long, and then you had the deluxe on that. That whole album with the deluxe was almost 2 hours long, so this is under an hour. So it's good that it's a Kanye West album that's under an album. That's good, but truly don't know what to expect. I haven't been listening to any of the teasers, any listening parties, live streams, none of that. Anytime the Kanye West roll out, he always does these live streams and like pre-releases and snippets and teasers and stuff. I don't listen to any of that, so I'd be coming in fresh ears, with no anticipation, no expectations, because you remember, expectations are the thief of joy. So I truly don't know what to expect from this album. I know there's like several features that I might know about, like Freddie Gibbs is on here, Playboi Carti is on here, Travis Scott on here, but I truly don't know which specific tracks. I truly don't know anything. I know some things, but I don't know anything. I like to go on blind, especially with the Kanye West albums, because there's so much hype and release and teasers and listening parties, like I mentioned before. Like, I try to tune all of that out, and some of it slips through the cracks, obviously, but when it comes to actually listening to the music, I tune it all the way out. I let the masses pay $20 to listen to early music. I don't know why people would do that. It's just absolutely insane. But I think I've been talking too much. Kanye West, Ty Dolla Vultures. Now it's gonna be a live. No, not a live. This is not a live stream. This is a recording. This is gonna be a full album reaction review, which means it's gotta be a lot of jumps and cuts and skits in between the video. Additionally, if several parts of this video is muted, it's probably due to copyright. So ahead of time, I'm sorry that some parts of this video might be muted due to copyright. Shout out to YouTube, and the record label's always blocking music on these platforms. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of jumps, cuts, and skips. It's not something that I want to do. It's something that I have to do to avoid copyright as much as I can. And even so, even to that point, some parts of the video, like I mentioned, is probably gonna be muted due to copyright. So with all that being said, I think it's time. I think it's that time. Like I mentioned, we're going to do 15 out of 16 tracks. We're not doing the title track of Vultures. We are going to be doing the talking because I haven't listened to that track at all. Kanye West, Ty Dolla Sign, Vultures 1. Apparently, we might be getting multiple versions. Not to mention, we might be getting a Kanye solo album, but that album probably ain't coming out to 2035. Who knows? All that being said, Kanye West, Ty Dolla Sign, Vultures, the album's finally here. Volume 1. Let's see what this album's all about. Alright, so the first track we got today is Stars. It's a minute and 55 minute track. So let's see what this intro track. It's probably gonna be intro track. It's probably Kanye West. It's probably gonna have like some angelic vocals, probably some what's it called? Like it's like choir, like orchestra, like Baptist choirs type stuff or something. I'm gonna anticipate something like that because it's Kanye West, man. He on his babble, he's on his church vibe, you know. So Stars. Let's hop into it. About my face, I realized how dark my face was. I opened up Google windows, bright as white screen. And that Stars the intro track. Like I mentioned, yeah, there's pretty much a choir intro track there. Nothing too crazy, nothing too exciting. Nice little intro track there. Next track we got is Keys to My Life. Let's see what this track is all about.
Slow down, you on your way to an overdose. Plus these texts getting way too emotional.
Texts are getting way too emotional. Really, Kanye West?
How dare you have a nigga in your house eating Papa John's? Where you get that money
I haven't had Papa John's in a while now that I think about it.
Wasn't it always this way? Wasn't it always this way?
Ty Dolla Sign with the vocals, man, always on point.
Now I can't just take it on the chin like Jay Leno. Now everybody want the
Really?
info. These
I can't pinpoint who vocals this is right here. Doing this outro right here. Comment down below who's doing that vocals right there. Of course, there's no features list on here, so maybe we get those eventually. But I don't know who's like I said, I don't know who's coming in on a specific track, so I might not be able to recognize people's voices. But I can't pinpoint who was on a female vocal list on the outro right there. But Keys to My Life is pretty alright. Pretty decent track. I put it in a couple playlists. Not too crazy, nothing too sided to be going on crazy over. But it's nice as an initial start for the second track outside of the intro track. So next track we got is Paid. Who getting paid? You getting paid, Kanye West? You lost a lot of money last year with all your antics and conversations you were having with people. But who getting paid out here? We getting paid? They getting paid? Who getting paid? Let's find out.
I'm just here to get paid. I'm just here to get paid. I'm just here to get
This track reminds me of a track that Kanye West and Ty Dolla Sign, I think this was on Ty Dolla Sign's album, I believe. Fade. Oh, Fade. Yeah, it sounds like Fade. That's what it sounds like. Yeah, it sounds like Fade. I was even on Life of Pablo back in 2016, which that album was 8 years old. Time is flying by way too fast. The Life of Pablo is 8 years old. That's insane to think about. But yeah, it sounds like Fade. That Fade was also sampled for Ty Dolla Sign's song, forgetting the title of it. But yeah, they got the same little don't beat right there. Classic sample though. Classic sample. Trying to get some waves out here, you know? What the hell is happening? Ooh. Look at that beat drop right there.
You got my attention when you're with me. Dollars all she do it for. I throw this cash, you shake that ass. Everybody grab somebody, turn this mother into a party. Fellas take a lady's hand, ladies go and choose your man. Friday night, let's all get paid.
Hey, 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 hey. And that's paid. That track was okay too. It was nothing too crazy. It definitely had a lot going on with the instrumentals, the switch ups. It was definitely a lot of highs and lows going up and down, a lot of crescendos and stuff like that. And then the outro there was definitely interesting switch up indeed. It had a lot of layers. That track definitely had a lot of layers, a lot going on to it, but it's nothing too exciting, nothing too crazy, man. I'm just waiting for that one track to really excite me. There's always gonna be a couple Kanye tracks where it's like, this shit is crazy, especially with the production alone. But it hasn't happened yet. But we're only 3 tracks in. The intro track never counts. We only got 2 other tracks. Now we're going to talking, like I mentioned before, is featuring Northwest. I'm expecting her voice to come on through some part of the track. Don't know when. And then yeah, like I said, it came out about a week ago. So that track in the music video for it. But yeah, I'm still waiting for that track to like excite me and wow me, because I know it's coming. Some point of time it's definitely coming. But talking, let's step into it. That talking is perfect, especially after the sound. You don't want no just talking. That's perfect. That's clean and perfect. That is clean and perfect. Northwest. Okay, she with the vocals now? Okay. Northwest? Miss West with the vocals? Miss West with the vocals? I think she got the talent. Especially when she was harmonizing and it was with the vocals right there, at the end there. I think she could be a nice vocalist. The rap in the beginning was okay, but the harmonizing she had there, it was pretty clean. Oh, and then the beat drops like that? My goodness.
I must have stopped the clock from speeding, they make China slow down. I must have stopped my daughter from growing, I just can't take it now. Cause she just that's why I gotta break the curses that was sent
that
to me.
vintage Ty Dolla sign. Ooh, my terrible rendition right there, but that Ty Dolla sign vocal at the end there, vintage Ty Dolla sign right there. Vintage Ty Dolla sign. Every time he does that, always hits.
I'm trying to make sure I contribute for the legacy.
My God, Ty Dolla sign.
Once again, the clouds are gathering to release.
That was clean when Kanye West came in.
Once again, the clouds are gathering to release what they held in.
And that's talking. I thoroughly enjoyed that track. That track is definitely my favorite. Let me playlist those right now real quick. But yeah, talking is definitely my favorite track so far. Northwest definitely had them solid vocals, like I mentioned before. The vocals that she had there when she was harmonizing was clean. Ty Dolla Sign's performance was immaculate. Kanye West had the smallest part and there's very little portion at the end there, but his portion still delivered as well. That was a solid track. Talking is definitely my favorite track of the album so far. I definitely enjoyed that. And yeah, that's definitely my favorite track, Talking. It's going to be interesting to see what else is going to top that. But Talking is definitely my favorite track. Northwest as well, like I mentioned before, she got vocals on her. Her vocal maturity, what's her vocals mature? She's getting in the studio more, practice more. I'm telling y'all, Northwest, as a vocalist, it's going to be on point. She's going to be on point. But the next track we got is Back to Me. See what this track is all about. Let's hop into it.
It's just don't follow the fucking sky, you know?
Interesting beat drop there.
Let's keep zooming, let's keep floating, let's keep moaning. Girl, I know that it ain't
Horny as hell.
you'll be running. This is shit that make rap niggas mad. Them think they cool niggas mad. Now this Urkel in your bitch. Did I do that?
Classic show.
Beautiful naked big titted women just don't follow the sky, you know?
Okay.
And I can tell you one thing. Beautiful big titty but naked women just don't follow the sky, you know.
Heard you the first time.
I can tell you one thing.
This is like the 6th time he's saying that. This track is way too long. This track could have easily been 3 minutes. This man keeps saying the same goddamn thing over and over again. Horny, still horny as hell. Is that Freddie Gibbs? I did not expect a Freddie Gibbs to come in out of nowhere, especially out of all this on this track, out of all beats, it's coming in on this. Freddie Gibbs? What the how is Freddie Gibbs gonna sound on this beat on this track? God, I'm written this track. I'm like, this track is 2 minutes too long. The track is 4 minutes and 55 seconds long. This track could have easily been 3 minutes, but maybe Freddie Gibbs can somewhat save it. I don't know. So maybe find out, right? Ooh. Oh my God. And brought it back. And brought it back at the end there. And that's back to me with Ty Dolla Sign. Not Ty, with Freddie Gibbs. Wow. I thoroughly enjoyed that. That Freddie Gibbs performance definitely saved that track. Cause the rest of that track I already mentioned, I've written off. Like, this track should have been like 3 minutes, sub 3 minutes, like 2 minutes and 30 seconds, maybe sub 3 minutes at max. But Freddie Gibbs' performance there at the end, it was pretty nice. It wasn't too bad. He definitely saved that track for me. I will playlist it on some simple playlists, but I probably won't come back to it. Maybe for Freddie Gibbs' performance I might, but the rest of it, I'm like, hell no. Just, literally, if I could get Freddie Gibbs' performance and just the rest of the track just cut off, I would definitely take that. Because the rest of that track is not it. But Freddie Gibbs definitely slapped the slit on his verse. He definitely did his damn thing on that track, on his verse there. The next track we got is Hood Rats. What are you about to get, some ghetto ass shit, some gangster rap maybe? I don't know. The title called it Hood Rat, but let's find out what the track is all about. This beat track sounds like it's about to be crazy. Not as good as I thought it would be. One of my best moments of listening to Kanye West, when he's trying to sing his heart out, when he's trying to hit those high notes like Ty Dolla Sign can pretty much easily do, Kanye West tries his hardest to harmonize, to hit them high notes, hold some notes for the longest possible times as he can, but it just, right, this man's been over 2 decades into his career now, especially since College Dropout came out a couple of days ago too. I was listening to that today, doing my workout today. College Dropout, his first album. Ever since then, that man's performance as a harmonizer, as a singer, has not improved. This was pretty much damn near the same. But he tries. He fucking tries. I give him that. That man always goddamn try.
They know Kanye is great too, but the way he conducts himself, they hate to believe it, but they can't help
Mike Tyson?
That's what motherfuckers do, but he sounds the same, and that sounds of a leader. No doubt he got some mental.
That man's list is so strong, man. Mike Tyson. And that's Hood Rat. That track really didn't do much for me. That was just really Kanye West, like I mentioned, harmonizing his heart out. Ty Dolla Sign. Ty Dolla Sign performance was pretty solid. It was just like the content of the track wasn't too much to do me. It didn't really do much for me. It wasn't too much. Hood Rap was definitely not much at all for me. But the next track we got is Do It. Just Do It? Nike? I mean, Kanye West partners with Adidas, so I don't know. He's going to say just do it, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it, and we're going to find out what Do It is all about.
Do it, stay whack. it smell fresh. And I feel your douche through the latex. When I make you cream, I'ma talk shit. You fuck back. You got
Sound like Nipsey Hussle.
I just wanna know. All this money on the floor. 10 racks, throw it up.
Ready for this beat.
Fucking on Tisha, fucking on Susie. Don't discriminate with this Uzi. She just wanna drink, do a little juicy. This might make you fall in love. Telling your friends you found the one. And I'm like, who? And I'm like, what?
You don't like it, that's your loss. Your opinion don't change the show cost. If I show her where she work, I think she just might quit. I just bought my bitch a bitch. Spending all this money like it's free to me.
What's happening? Tryna make a movie. Do it, do it. She got the little fashion.
I know that ain't what I think it is. Not that beat. That beat? I know Kanye came up in the early 2000s. But man, that's a throwback. That is a throwback. Mixing it with this beat too is hilarious. Oh my god. That is a throwback. Hey. Hey. Oh man. Who is this? His voice sounds familiar. Like, this is the thing about when you don't have features on the album. It's hard to remember who's like on the vocals, who's doing the rapping, who's doing the singing, and like I know this person's voice, but for some reason the artist's name is not coming to mind. But let's carry on. Hey, 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 hey. And that track was okay too. I think what really saved that track for me was sampling fucking Juvenile's Back That Ass Up. I think sampling that track definitely fucking, oh my god, that threw me back. That threw me back to the early 2000s. And also the feature artist was YG. So Nipsey Hussle was definitely in the beginning, and then the YG, that's who it was. That was on that verse towards the end there. But yeah, definitely sampling Juvenile was definitely unexpected, but definitely helped out the track, because the rest of the track I was like, man. And then the Juvenile beat came in. I'm like, not expecting this, but definitely solid. The next track we got is Paperwork. I'm guessing they're gonna be assuming they're gonna be talking about money, but I guess it's the only way to find out, right? Let's hop into it.
Let me get my paper right, then come out, let's play tonight. Back on that for the paper. Benjamin Frank, that's my neighbor. Deep in the night, let's get dangerous. Back on that for the paper.
The hell?
Baby, chill, don't worry about that. You don't need a real job.
Paying you, I'm late for work. My excuse, I pay for twerk. She prefer
Quavo?
How about I ask you this question first? What you gonna do for this baby bird?
Quavo! And that's Paperwork. That track was pretty meh as well. It had Quavo at the end there. Definitely expect Quavo to come on through, but that track was, yeah, that's another track where I'm like, you can throw that away, get out of sight, out of mind. We'll never come back to it ever again. The next track we got is Burn. I think this is the shortest track on the whole album. Yeah, it's 1 minute and 51 seconds long. We're about halfway through the album, y'all. We got halfway through the album. Vultures, like I mentioned before, we're gonna skip over that. So yeah, we got like 7 odd tracks left to go through. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. We're going through this pretty efficiently right now. But the next track we got is Burn. Let's hop into it.
Her body like the Wild Wild West.
I'm liking the vibe already.
Who's not entertained by my pain? Who ain't cash a check off my name? To who it may concern the CEO of the firm? It's not some West Spoken Sherm with big worm.
Y'all, this track, like I mentioned earlier, like I listened to College Dropout earlier today doing my workout, and this track reminds me like an early Kanye, like a College Dropout, late registration Kanye. This sounds like early Kanye right here. I like this. I like this track.
Man, the world gone mad. Her R. Kelly in the next Balenciaga ad.
W reference. And that's Burn. I thoroughly enjoyed that track. Like I mentioned early on in the middle of the track, that track sounds like an early Kanye, like a 2004, 2005, maybe 2007 graduation type of Kanye. That sounds like an early Kanye song. It sounds like a college dropout, late registration Kanye. I thoroughly enjoyed that track. Nice vibe of a track, nice up tempo, nothing too crazy, nothing too outlandish. Just the production is pretty simple, pretty bland, but fit the vibe of the track and it just worked so well. I thoroughly enjoyed that track. It's definitely one of my favorite tracks on the album. Next track we got is probably gonna be the complete opposite. Fuck Son. The title of the track is called Fuck Son. This track could be totally the opposite of Bird. That's how. That don't was hit. That is the smallest like production piece of the entirety of this track so far. But I love that don't. It came at the right right time, the right cadence. That was perfect. That's the smallest little thing ever that I can pause the video for. But it was. Was coming in with this voice, the lowest pitch or the highest pitch voice possible. They pitched that voice all the way up. that pitch, they tuned that pitch all the way up. God, I was not ready for that at all. Travis Scott? Sound like Travis Scott about to come through. Maybe not. Maybe no Travis Scott.
Shot wanna fuck? Whoa. I'ma let her hop on some.
And that's Fuck Son. I thoroughly enjoyed that track. Playboy Cardi's performance reminds me of the performance he had on Fiend, where it wasn't like if you ever see my reactions to any of Playboy Cardi's music, he's definitely not my particularly favorite artist, probably at the very bottom. But Fiend, his performance he did on Fiend, I thoroughly enjoyed. This track I thoroughly enjoyed. I haven't listened to any of the music he's releasing the last like month or two or so, but he wasn't too bad for me on here. Kanye West and Ty Dolla solid performance. When you have too much Travis Scott, I don't know that was him doing the high pitched voice, but we did get snippets of him, so that was okay as well. But that track was actually pretty solid. You know, it had me scared out the gate because we're at the Burn purpose was pretty solid, and the track itself called Fuck Son. I'm like, oh, this is probably gonna be the complete opposite, but that was a pretty solid track. Yeah, the features from Playboy Cardi and Travis Scott have been a decent combination. Them two the last couple of years now. Maybe we get a collab album between them two. Maybe we get that down the road in the future. But that Fuck Son, that was a decent, probably rather decent track. It's probably one of my favorite tracks, low key. That's probably I did not expect to say that. Kanye West, Ty Dolla Sign, Playboy Cardi, and Travis Scott is probably one of my favorite tracks on the album. I thought I would never say that, but here we are. I thoroughly enjoyed that track. So the next track we listen to is Carnival. Like I mentioned before, the next track would be Vultures, but we already listened to Vultures months ago. It's been out for like three months or so now. So we're going to skip over Vultures. The next track we got is Carnival. Let's see what this track is all about. What, we got a World Cup soccer match? I have no idea who this is. Imagine using this in the FIFA World Cup or the FIFA soundtrack. The FIFA game soundtrack. I'm liking Ty Dolla $ign's flow right there out the gate. His verses flow right now. I'm liking it. I like the flow right now. Ty Dolla $ign. I'm liking it. I'm liking it.
My dog put a nigga in park. Gotta watch out for the knocks.
I like his flow on that verse. His verse right there. I like that. I like that Ty Dolla $ign.
And she said she ain't something I did. She gon' take it up the air like a ventriloquist. I mean, sis Taylor Swift. Since I
She ride dick like a carnival. Been over having flashbacks. She gon'
Cardi again? Playboy Cardi almost back-to-back tracks.
when it tastes, get checking the sweat today. Ho, come back tomorrow. If you know what I know, how's your hoe? Just out the fence, I'm having them hot toes. I'm about to nut on her body and tell her holy. 50 mil stuff in the bag, tell the whole gang eat.
Not bad. Not bad at all. And that's Carnival featuring whoever's at the beginning there. Kanye West, Ty Dolla $ign, Playboy Cardi once again. So once again, we got another Playboy Cardi feature, almost back-to-back in tracks. Obviously, it was back-to-back in my nature because we skipped over Vultures. But yeah, that track was okay. It's pretty decent. Better than some other tracks. I did put in a couple playlists, so it does get some replay value in that aspect. It's not one of my favorites, not in my top 5, but it's definitely pretty decent indeed. Definitely decent indeed, especially with the instrumental. With the, like I said, it sounded like honestly, I would not be surprised. This track is on a future FIFA World Cup game. But the next track we got is "Beg Forgiveness," with it being the longest track. It's 6 minutes and 8 seconds long. So this track is a long one. It's definitely a long one. It's one interesting to see. And this track is called "Beg Forgiveness." So this can be very good. This could be very good, but it'll also be very bad. But who knows? It's Kanye West. We'll find out. We will find out. Beg forgiveness. Let's hop into it.
You've gone too far. You've gone too far and you should hang
Chris
your
Brown?
head in shame.
Woke up Chris Breezy.
You've gone too far. You've gone too far and you should hang your head in shame.
It's moments like this when you realize why the track is 6 minutes long. I'm just waiting for someone to come in. Kanye West, Ty Dolla $ign, maybe Chris Breezy come back, someone else, somebody come back. Still going. Just when I thought someone was gonna come in, it just keeps on going with this vocal voice right here. There we go. There we go. We had a nice little intro sequence from Chris Brown. There's been this entire voice up until damn near the 3-minute mark, and then Kanye West coming in. Goddamn, I've been waiting for it. I've been waiting for it to find someone else finally came back in.
Don't let your moment pass you by. And if I go tonight, know that I lived a lovely life.
Oh, I thought that beat drop was about to be crazy right there.
Say you wanna make amends before I go. Now you wanna put your heart on the line. I will wait, I will wait, I will wait. Yeah, you know I'm still suffocating on your every lie.
And that's Beg Forgiveness. That is definitely an interesting track because of the first like 30 seconds or so, Chris Brown came in, and then we had that one monotone voice for damn near 3 minutes with a Kanye West portion, and then nice little switch up with the beat a little bit there, and then Ty Dolla $ign closing it out with his performance. That track is definitely interesting, definitely not my favorite. Obviously, that whole monologue in the beginning after Chris Brown is definitely not the most interesting part of the entirety of the track. Definitely an interesting track indeed. But moving forward, we got Good, in parentheses, Don't Die. Okay. See what this track is all about. Down to the last 3 tracks, y'all. The last 3 tracks, Good, Don't Die, Problematic, and King. But Good, Don't Die. See what this track is all about.
On this hopeless night came 1,000 miles to see you smile tonight. Just one more time. Don't die, don't die.
Keep me up all
Ooh, that multi-layered voice always hits for Ty Dolla Sign. And that's Good Don't Die. That track reminds me of Beg Forgiveness, where it's pretty monotone, nothing too exciting, too crazy. I think Ty Dolla Sign performance is probably the most highlight of the entirety of the track there. But even then, that still wasn't much to give. It was pretty much a repetitiveness of the verses and yeah, the chorus and the sample in the background. So that track was nothing too crazy. Once again, it was definitely one of those tracks where it's just like nothing too crazy, nothing too exciting. But the next track we got is Problematic. Second to last track on Vultures Volume 1. Let's see what this track is all about.
I feel like I be the murder. Fucking on the beat you never heard of. Everything I do, they do. Guess Yeezy set the trend. And we in this bitch again, time to get rich again. And when you flying private, it can't be no delaying. When I speak my mind, it's skirmish. What I give them no chances, even if they get a chance. Here's panic like they know Spanish. High brand all of these. I'm not racist, it's a preference. And my bitch looking like a reference. I just fucked the world raw, she need a morning after.
Horny as hell on this track.
Every day in New Jersey, on my way to New York.
Hey, shout out to New Jersey.
Meeting. If every room got a different bitch, do that make me a polygamist? Without the deals,
Polygamist is crazy.
Nigga, is fucking ridiculous.
Is what? Fucking ridiculous. Classic. And that's Problematic. That track is okay. Nothing too exciting. I think they could have definitely been better. I think the production could have definitely been better on there. Could have had more. I mean, the ambiance is pretty solid, pretty decent. But it's just like, yeah, it was just like, could have been more exciting. Obviously, it was more highlighting Kanye West's vocals and a little bit of Ty Dolla Sign vocals, of course, as well. But definitely more so Kanye West's his verse there was definitely had a lot of interesting takes and references and stuff like that. But yeah, that track is okay. Nothing too exciting about it. But now we're down to the last track of this 16 album, under an hour long. The last track we got is King. Let's close this one out strong. Hopefully. It sounds like it's going to be an outro track. It's always interesting how intro tracks sound like intro tracks and outro tracks actually sound like outro tracks.
Bipolar, anti-Semite, and I'm still the king. Guess a real nigga couldn't take no more. Niggas mad cause they can't talk to you no more. What you say it for? She just wanna fuck a double take a store. Paparazzi love me, they show up to everything. I could pay you double, let me put you on a team. All that word of mouth couldn't take me out. Still king. Still king.
And that's King to wrap up Vultures Volume 1. That track is just Kanye West is solidifying. Like, they try to get rid of me. They try to cancel me. They try to take all my financials, all my partnerships and deals that I had with Adidas, etc., etc. But I'm still here. I'm still king. I'm still greatest out here. You know how Kanye West like he's a quintessential narcissist out here. So that's just a track from Kanye West just solidifying like, yeah, he's that man. He can't get rid of me. I'm always gonna be here. I'm always gonna be talking my shit. I'm always gonna make music, etc., etc. So that track wraps up Vultures Volume 1. Interesting album, definitely interesting album. Definitely not my favorite Kanye West album. I think we all can collectively agree on here. And it's definitely an album which has like not too many highs. Like when Donna came out a couple years ago, it was definitely highs, like Off the Grid high, especially like Fabio Foreign's verse on there. It was crazy. Hurricane high, Moon high, Life of the Party we got on the deluxe version. The plethora of other tracks and of the performance on there was crazy. We have a couple that kind of has that, like Talking with Northwest was pretty solid. Was it Back to Me with Freddie Gibbs? Save that track. Let's see. Fuck Some was pretty solid indeed with Travis Scott and Playboy Cardi. Carnival was pretty decent, but everything else is like meh to me. really. Like I said, it was nothing like. There are some highs, there's some lows on this album, but it's not like the craziest highs that we always. There's always like a few tracks where it's like this is the absolute craziest of the whole album. There's nothing too crazy for me. That there's highs like I mentioned, but most of the album is definitely mid or just like meh. This did absolutely nothing for me. I guess some of my favorite tracks. I already mentioned them some of them before, but. Talking was pretty solid. Like I said, Northwest when she matures, and vocals definitely gonna be on point. Back to Me was absolutely saved by Freddie Gibbs there. What else? Burn, like I said, Burn reminds me like an old Kanye, like an early Kanye, the first couple albums of Kanye. Burn definitely solid on there. Fuck Some, Playboy Cardi and Travis Scott was pretty solid. The production on that, I forgot to mention as well, was pretty solid on Fuck Some. Carnival is another track that's pretty decent with Playboy Cardi again. I don't know who's on the beginning of Carnival, but yeah, the rest of the album wasn't much for me. I think some other tracks that were okay to me were Keys to My Life, and then Do It, and then Problematic. It was okay. So Problematic, Do It, and then Keys to My Life were like okay tracks to me. Everything else I was like, didn't really do much, and it showed on my reaction to the album. But yeah, that's about it. I mean, apparently it's supposed to get multiple different versions or like volumes of this. Maybe like a second version coming out in a couple of months, or like a third volume coming out in a couple of months. It remains to be seen. It's gonna be interesting to see if it is like a trilogy or quadrilogy or something like that down the line. What each album, if it's gonna compound upon one another, it's gonna be totally different one another. I don't know. It remains to be seen. We ever truly get it. It is Kanye West at the end of the day, so we never know where we're gonna get the album from him. It was also like kind of like rushly or loosely announced that Kanye West is also releasing a solo album. So like I mentioned, that's probably coming out 2035. So who knows where we go from here. It's definitely gonna be interesting to see. Like some people, the reactions to the album is pretty much similar to mine. It's like, there's nothing too crazy, nothing too exciting. It's definitely some highlight moments, but nothing like too astounding like we typically get from a Kanye West album. So definitely comment down below. If I had to rank it out of 10, I would probably rank it like a solid 6, maybe 6, above average at best. But I think that's what Kanye West can definitely do, is do above average at best. He doesn't really have bad albums. It's just always like either average or above average. And then obviously the 10s or the graduations, the Beautiful Twisted Fantasy, the College Dropouts, etc., etc. But he definitely always have like an average or above average album. His album's like maybe above average at best. And I'm ranking like a 6 out of 10 on a 10-point scale. Definitely comment down below what you think about the album and its release and the process of its rollout and the listening parties, and then it coming out 4 o'clock in the morning, then coming down to finally being released to the masses. And then what were some of your favorite tracks? Like I mentioned, some of my favorite tracks were Talking, Northwest performance was crazy, Back to Me got saved by Freddie Gibbs, Burn was solid, Fuck Some was solid, Carnival was solid. But yeah, definitely comment down below what you were his favorite tracks and what you expect in the future from Kanye West. Do we get more volumes in the future? Will we get another solo album from Kanye? I don't know. Maybe we'll see. This is a lot to think about, a lot to expect from Kanye West. But Vultures, Volume 1, Kanye West, Ty Dolla Sign collab album, it was pretty decent. It was pretty decent. So, if you're not doing a physical video, I got more content like this always coming soon. So please subscribe. Kanye West, Ty Dolla Sign, Vultures, finally released after many months of hypes and anticipation and listening parties and releasing and unreleasing and pre-releases and etc. It's a Kanye West album. Anytime it's a Kanye West album, we truly don't know we're gonna get it, and when we do get it, it was always like a random time like we got with this one at 4 a.m. in the morning on a Saturday. Absolutely insane. But definitely comment below what your favorite tracks and what you think about the album and what the future holds for Kanye West and Ty Dolla Sign, this series that we possibly getting. I don't know. It means it's gonna be interesting to see what comes in the future. But until then, I see y'all in the next video. Peace.